Cameron completely fell apart, his eyes filled with despair. The reason he'd gotten so far, becoming an executive at such a young age, was largely because he'd eagerly signed a very demanding contract. To tighten its control over employees, Apex Group had created an ironclad management contract. Signing it could lead to a quick promotion, but it also meant being completely tied to the company. For example, after Cameron signed the agreement, he was fast-tracked. But in return, he had to be completely dedicated and loyal. If he slacked off or showed any dissent, Apex Group could hit him with a massive lawsuit. Many people were too afraid of the responsibility to sign such a contract. But back when Cameron had just graduated, he was so eager to climb the ladder that he just closed his eyes and signed it. He never expected it to backfire so badly. Cameron knelt on the floor, his whole body trembling on the verge of collapse. He had bet his entire future on Apex Group, but now they were suing him for $5 million. On top of that, Salman was going to blacklist him. How could he ever find another job? Without a job, he had no income, and his life was ruined. And he still had to deal with a $5 million lawsuit. Going to prison seemed like the only thing left for him. He was like a madman, bowing and scraping before Salman, a crying, sniveling mess. "Mr. White, please forgive me this one time. Give me another chance, Mr. White. If I'm blacklisted, I'll have no way to pay the company the $5 million. Please, let me stay with the company. I'll be your workhorse. I'll do anything. I'll toe the line, be a model employee, and do whatever it takes to contribute." Salman kicked him back.
"What's the use of admitting you're wrong now? Did you think the world revolves around you? You think you can just mess up, say I'm sorry, and everything will be forgiven? Let me tell you something. If Mr. Wade gets angry with me because of you, then I will kill you."
Cameron trembled with fear, his face as pale as a sheet. He couldn't believe that Charlie, the loser he'd looked down on, had so much power that Salman would kill someone like him without a second thought. If he had known this from the start, he would have gladly knelt and begged Claire for forgiveness the moment he saw her. He never would have rejected her. But now, it was too late to say anything. His life was over. At that moment, Salman frowned, noticing Sasha and Jasper in the office for the first time. He asked, "Who are you two? Are you friends with Cameron, or are you employees here?" The words snapped Sasha and Jasper back to reality, and they quickly denied everything. No, we have nothing to do with him. We don't even know him." Now was the time to distance themselves from Cameron. There was no way they were going to admit to knowing him. "Really? Then why were you in his office?" Laughing with him. Hearing this, Cameron snapped, his voice filled with anger. "Mr. White, they're my old college classmates. They're the ones who egged me on to reject Claire." Cameron had lost his mind. His life was in ruins, and there was no way he was letting Sasha and Jasper walk away unscathed. Salman said coldly, "So the dogs are turning on each other. Blacklist these two as well." When Jasper heard this, he flew into a rage, turning on Cameron. "Cameron, you're dragging me down with you? You'll pay for this." Meanwhile, Charlie had already gotten a cab and was heading home with Claire. He glanced over at Claire, who had been silent the entire ride. Gently, he said, "Don't worry about the job. We'll find you something in a couple of days. It's their loss for not hiring you. Besides, it doesn't sound like a great company anyway. Working there would probably just hold you back." Claire sighed. "It's so hard to find a job right now. I guess I just have to keep looking and hope for the best." Charlie asked her, "Have you thought about trying the M. Grand Group?" Claire shook her head. "I could never get into the M. Grand Group. They have really strict hiring processes and standards. It'd be embarrassing to have to start at the very bottom." Charlie sighed. "Honey, honestly, I think you should start your own business." "Start my own business?" Claire asked, surprised. How would I even do that? Charlie said, "You've been in this industry for years. You've built up a lot of contacts. Doris from the M. Grand Group seems to really like you, and Salman is counting on me to help him with his energy alignment. He could help too." Claire laughed. "You need at least $2 or $3 million in capital just to start a company, not to mention all the follow-up investments. Where would we get that kind of money?" Charlie said, "I can help you figure out the funding. I know a few people." He smiled. "If you're serious about this, the startup capital won't be an issue." Claire looked up at him. "Charlie, I know you have connections like Mr. White. I'm sure borrowing the money isn't the problem. But honestly, that's a lot of pressure. I'd rather start smaller. Maybe I could open my own personal studio and just do freelance design work for the big construction companies." Charlie replied instantly, "Whatever you decide, I'll support you completely." Claire nodded gratefully. "I want to start with the studio and make it a success. The Wilson family thinks I can't survive without the Wilson Company. I'll show them they're wrong." Charlie thought for a moment, then nodded and smiled. "I support you, but if you run into any trouble, you have to tell me, and we'll figure it out together. Worst case, I'll come work for you. Your husband doesn't have many skills, but I can carry your bags and be your driver." "Okay." Claire nodded, looking touched. The decision was a huge risk. If she didn't find a job, the family's main source of income would be gone, and opening a design studio required money to rent an office, buy equipment, and everything else. It was a big investment. On top of that, the Wilson Company had connections with all the major group companies in Oris Hill City. They would definitely try to sabotage her behind the scenes. But Charlie didn't even hesitate. He supported her completely. Claire was incredibly moved. As she was wrestling with all these complicated feelings, she heard Charlie's voice again. "Honey, just go for it. If it doesn't work out, I'll find a job to support us." At that moment, Claire held her breath. A lump formed in her throat, and her eyes started to burn. After hitting so many dead ends and feeling so lost, she never expected that her husband, the one she'd always thought was useless, would be the one to believe in her and have her back. Charlie's suggestion to start her own business kept Claire up all night. The next morning, she still looked exhausted. After waking up, Claire hurried to get ready. Charlie asked with concern, "Honey, why are you up so early? You should have slept in." Claire said, "I have to go to the future company and I can't be late." Charlie asked, "Future company? Another interview?" "No." Claire shook her head and hesitated for a moment. "I'm going to try and land some projects." "Okay," Charlie said with a smile. "If you start a construction company, I'll come work for you." "You can't just start a construction company that easily. You need funding and connections, and I have neither." Claire explained, "I'm going to start with a studio. I'll get an office and do freelance design work for other construction companies. Once I've built up some contacts and saved some money, then I'll register a proper company." Charlie smiled. "Money and connections aren't a problem. If you really want to start a company, I'll set one up for you." "No." Claire immediately rejected his offer and said seriously, "I want to try this on my own first. Besides, where would you get those kinds of resources? You can't just snap your fingers and open a construction company." Charlie said, "I have the money to start a company, and I have the connections you need." The M. Grand Group's investments cover almost 70% of the industries in Oris Hill. It would be easy to get a few design contracts from them. Claire thought he was joking and dismissed it with a wave of her hand. "You don't understand how the construction industry works. I'll handle the investment side of things myself. You don't need to worry about it. To register a construction company, you need at least $10 million in startup capital, plus working capital. Where would he get that kind of money? Even if he somehow had the money, there's no way he'd have connections in the construction industry." Charlie was speechless. His wife was choosing to start from scratch when he had all these resources ready for her. He really didn't know what to say. As soon as Claire walked out the door, her mother-in-law, Elaine, walked in. Her pension was tied to the Wilson group, so she had been going over there a lot the past couple of days. Even though Claire's family had broken ties with the Wilson family, Elaine was still hoping they could patch things up. Where did Claire go? She went to look for a project. What kind of project? Elaine said angrily. Is she really planning to leave the Wilson family? It was just a little misunderstanding. Why is she making such a big deal out of it? Talking about cutting ties? How does that look? Jacob stared at Elaine, doing a double take. Honey, did you go to the Wilsons' house? Did Mrs. Wilson get in your head? What are you talking about? I'm not confused at all. Elaine sat down on the sofa, fuming. Tomorrow, you're going to the Wilsons' house with me to apologize to Mrs. Wilson. She is your mother, and that's your older brother. You don't just throw away family. Jacob's face darkened, and he said angrily,
They tried to sell my house and steal Charlie's villa. They never treated me like family. If you want to apologize, go ahead. But I am never stepping foot in that house again. For me, the best thing is to stay away from the Wilson family. Seeing the usually mild-mannered Jacob being so stubborn, Elaine was furious. She turned to Charlie. Charlie, your father-in-law is being a complete blockhead. You talk some sense into him. This is just a family spat, not some lifelong feud. His mother is just confused, and he's talking about cutting ties? That's ridiculous. Besides, my pension depends on the Wilson group. She's confused? Jacob jumped to his feet, enraged. She tried to take my property, steal Charlie's villa, and told Claire to divorce you and marry someone else. You call that confused? You go over to that house, they feed you some sob story, and you just eat it all up. Seeing his in-laws arguing and both trying to pull him into the middle of it, Charlie felt a headache coming on. He quickly made an excuse. Claire asked me to pick her up. I have to go.
Hey amazing viewers, it's Charlie here. Thanks for sticking with us. By the time of the release of this video, only 11% of our viewers have joined the party by subscribing, and 89% of you might miss out on our next mind-blowing video. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the exclusive club.